Well, hello guys and welcome to the Chem Crown channel. Today we are going to discuss the discovery of the proton or discovery of Canal rays or simply the Goldstein experiments. So we know that cathode rays are negatively charged, which were discovered by the William Crookes. Now we know that William Crookes performed this experiment in a discharge tube. Okay. So that discharge tube contains a particular type of a gas. Now if a gas can produce the cathode rays, then there must be some positive rays, or you can say that if a gas can produce the cathode rays which are negatively charged, then such gases must produce positively charged particles, because you can say that atom or matter as a whole is neutral. So this idea that matter as a whole is neutral, and if these molecules of gas can produce negatively charged particles which are called electrons or cathode rays, then these molecules must produce some positive rays. So keeping this idea in mind, Goldstein performed an experiment, and what he did was very interesting. Now keeping in mind the same idea that the atoms are neutral as a whole, Goldstein, here you can see, discovered the protons in the discharge tube in 1886, and he used the same idea. Okay, but this time what he did, he made some changes in the discharge tube which was used by the William Crookes. Now the same idea was used by the Goldstein, and he discovered the protons in the discharge tube, but this time he made some changes in the discharge tube. So let's discuss those changes in those experimental setup. So now you can see in this slide that Goldstein used the same discharge tube for the discovery of the Canal rays or the protons, but what he did this time is very interesting, because he made the cathode perforated, or you can say that he made some holes in the cathode. So here you can see that these holes were made by the Goldstein in the cathode. Okay, now this is the whole experimental setup. This is a discharge tube, and these green dots denotes the gas molecules. Let's suppose that we have the hydrogen gas in this discharge tube. Now there are two electrodes which are sealed in this discharge tube. One is the anode and the other one is cathode. Cathode is negatively charged while the anode is positively charged. Now we also connect this discharge tube with the vacuum pump. And why we connected with the vacuum pump? Because we want to decrease the pressure inside the discharge tube, because in case of higher concentration of the gas molecules, there will be no passage of current. So that's why we connect it with the vacuum pump to decrease the pressure. So finally what we do is to connect these electrodes with the battery. So here you can see this battery, and now when Goldstein connected the battery with the electrodes of this discharge tube, then he saw the cathode rays which were moving towards the anode, and they were producing fluorescence here. But at the same time, interestingly, he was also seeing fluorescence at this end of the tube, and he found that some rays were moving towards the cathode, which is negatively charged, and these rays were passing through the holes, and they were striking at this end of the discharge tube and were producing fluorescence. So simply he named these rays as Canal rays, or simply protons. So when the electrodes are connected with the battery, so what happens actually, these electrons strike with these hydrogen gas molecules, and it knocks out the electron, and here we are only left with the bare proton, and that bare proton actually moves towards the cathode, which is negatively charged. So when they pass through these holes, it strike with this end of the discharge tube, and it produces the fluorescence. Okay, so Goldstein named these rays as protons or Canal rays, and he also found out that the nature of these rays, are the proton, or you can say the Canal rays, totally depends on the nature of the gas molecule. So if you change the gas inside the discharge tube, so definitely the type of Canal rays which will produce will definitely change. So this was all about the Goldstein experiment, or you can say the discovery of the proton or discovery of the Canal rays. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next class.